There's no such thing as an ethical billionaire.
It's gonna be good.
You cannot become a billionaire without exploiting people. In
That man makes less than 60K a year. That's average.
the process.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, it's impossible to work hard enough
That man makes less than 10K a year. That is embarrassing. He's a grown man.
to be a billionaire. You will have to extract the surplus labor value from other people. It's not possible to do that at all. Like, I think the closest, we have a weird almost exception, but not really exception in modern society with celebrities, where people actually like just prop them up and do that, and they're not necessarily exploiting others themselves. And so that's like the only thing I think where it could be questionable.
do you have an example, like a specific example of someone that's a billionaire?
No,
that might be...
that's
Okay.
my thing, is that
Yeah.
they don't reach billionaire status, because
Right.
billionaire is so
Yeah,
insanely high.
right.
I think you could be like 100 millionaire ethically, maybe through that specific mean, but billionaire is so astronomically high, it's impossible to get there without exploiting others. I look at someone like Taylor Swift, who I'm a huge fan of, love her, but her capitalist business practices are
Exactly.
insane.
Yeah.
We're charging like $40 for little things, and
He is upset that Taylor Swift charges $40 to see her perform, which is not that much money at all. And how much do you think she should charge? How can you determine how much a performer should charge based on the efforts that they put in all their lives to reach the peak like Taylor Swift? And I'm not a musical fan of Taylor Swift, but when it comes to business, she's good. These two men are complaining that billionaires are somehow not ethical because they're billionaires. That doesn't make any sense.
we're exploiting people in all these other ways to like make these things for so cheap and do this and
Yeah, you become a billionaire by investing, you know, and you don't, it's not through hard work. Nobody becomes a billionaire through hard work. You get it through exploiting people.
Oh gosh, this is gonna be a long one. My name is Terrence Manning. This is my show, My Thoughts Uncut. These guys are buffoons, and do they not understand that billionaires are the ones that create jobs for people like them? They're the reasons why they have jobs, because of billionaires' ideas and hard work and effort, and they take the most risk. Let's continue.
You know what the difference between $1 billion and $1 million is? It's about $1 billion. Yeah. I mean, nobody really understands how much wealth is $1 billion, and to think that there are people in the world that have hundreds of $1 billion and they're on their way to becoming trillionaires. The disparity has never been greater, and I don't believe that there's any way you can acquire $1 billion and without being unethical, and I've yet to hear a strong argument.
I need him to give examples of what exactly these billionaires have done that they deem unethical. Having certain prices for people to view your service, like Taylor Swift, $40, that's not unethical. Give me an unethical reason, not some random, oh, she shouldn't be charging $40 for people to go see her perform. You don't even, you spend more money at the movie theaters. If that's the case, you go on a date at the movie theaters, you're spending well over $40. Is that an unethical date? Is the girl that you with that you took to the movies and you spent that much money? Is that an unethical way of her showing that she's appreciated by you? What is he talking about? These people that have these poor mindsets, it irks me. I don't get, instead of complaining, go out and do something. But I guess because he's incompetent and he doesn't put forth the effort, it's just easier to sit back on your ass and complain about the people that have. You the have not, so it's easy for you to complain. Just go out and hustle. Do some. You making $10,000 or less as a grown man, and this was when they asked him. It was in 2024. How much did he make? He made less than $10,000, and he looks like he's an able body too. So, and he looks like he's married. He has a ring on his finger. So I don't understand what the hell is he doing with his life.
And the opposition.
If you're putting people in a position to where they can, I guess, provide for the life that they want and the people they care about, so they can accomplish their goals through the opportunity you provide for them, and you're able to accomplish your goal at the same time, why is that a bad thing?
Well, when I use exploitation, I use it in a Marxist sense where it's just the extraction. Like you are exploiting their labor in the sense that their labor is worth a certain amount. You're not paying them what that labor is worth. If they generate $30 an hour for you and you're paying them 20, that's exploitation. If you are taking that $10 and putting it in your pocket.
But then how do you pay for the lights, like the cameras?
I think that surplus labor value, I think workers should have a say in how it's used. And that's my biggest problem, is that the workers don't have a say.
Is there a sense where we could maybe raise the minimum wage to a certain level to where it's not seen as exploitation?
The very concept of earning a wage is exploitative by design because
Oh my gosh, these guys irk me. You cannot continuously raise the minimum wage for jobs that can be done by high school kids and or college students. Jobs that are not meant to be career type jobs. Just like with the whole Starbucks thing. I love Starbucks, but you can't tell me that you want these people to get paid minimum wage of like $30 an hour to make coffee. You know what's going to happen? More people are going to start making coffee from home, because what Starbucks is going to do, they're going to have less employees because they want this minimum wage, right? And they're going to have the services higher. The product and services will rise, less employees, and that's how they counter it. No one's going to be going into Starbucks when coffee is now starting from $5 to $8. Coffee is already starting at $5 and change. Now you want it to $8 to $10? This is insane.
you could be, like you said, you could be producing all this value as a worker, but you're capped.
What if you get stock in the company? So it's pretty common in the tech place to get restricted.
How does a company raise the shareholder price of their company? How do they do that?
Make more revenue.
Usually there's traditional finance metrics like revenue, but in general it's more people are buying and
revenue
by selling
by selling goods and services.
How do they make goods?
Using human labor.
There you go.
I never saw.
Bro, the clothes you wear, someone had to make it. The TV show, well, not TV show, but Jubilee, someone owns it. There's cameramen, there's people that work from, you're on it. Everything you do, someone has to make it. Someone has to come up with the idea, and then they hire people to execute. What is he? Is he socialism? He's a socialist? That's the only thing I can think of.
That my life was worse off if the guy who started a restaurant paid me a wage to work in the restaurant and he made more than me. It never bothered me. If the owner of the restaurant was like, yeah.
There were slaves in the 1830s that didn't think they were being exploited as well.
Except it was my choice.
But also,
it was my choice to go get that job. And
What? Bruh, if I come up with a business concept, I start the business, grow the business, hire employees, why would the employees be able to make just as much or more than me? They're just working based off my idea. He just used slavery as an example to where this guy just said, I volunteered to work at the restaurant. That's not even comparable. That's disingenuous and flat out lazy argument.
earn a wage.
Yes,
If I
you're
get
going to say
one,
the
then I can
system
quit.
forced you to
well,
do
but
it.
no, also the person paying you to do that was not a billionaire. A billionaire takes that to the most extreme level where it wouldn't be taking $1 here of surplus labor value and doing this with it. It's extreme greed, extreme wealth.
We're going to listen to another topic that these buffoons talked about, because this one is even better.
To make money if you're a white man.
We're making a broad statement. Obviously, it's not, there are people that aren't white that make a lot of money, but I think statistically, generally speaking, it is easier to make money if you are white. It's easier to be advantaged by these institutions that govern public life if you are a white person, specifically a white male. But, goes back to systemic racism. I mean, the institutions are, capitalism has given way to, like a byproduct of capitalism, in other words, is white supremacy. And, we're in the United States of America. We've had, this country was founded upon slavery and the genocide of the Native Americans, the slavery of African Americans. And that was by white people.
Yeah. I think when you look at the statistics,
I can't go over this. He's made less than $10,000 in 2024. The only excuse is injury. Other than that, I have no idea what he was doing with his life. And he's married.
you see certain demographics succeeding more than other demographics. And you can either look at that and say, oh, there's something inherent about those groups, which is just racism, or you can look at that and say, there must be some societal factors that lead other groups to.
With all these big words they're using, you know what's the most funniest part about this? The most ironic part is that they are the two of the least wealthiest, the poorest people on the panel, and they're white. And they're saying it's easier to make money if you're a white man. Yet they're literally the most poorest on the panel. And you have two or three of the gentlemen that make way more than them that are not white.
Excelling more than others.
And another point is there have been studies made on, the eligibility of people to acquire a bank loan, for instance. And statistically speaking, it's far easier to acquire a bank loan if you're a white person than a black person. And that's just one of the examples. We have it's easier to get a college education if you're white. It's easier to make money if you're educated. Most white people, have a clear, it's all about equity.
I do want to make one thing clear about my worldview, though, is that
I'm gonna join you guys. It's okay
for sure. Is that I think on the left, the left of politics, sometimes it comes across very defeatist when we talk about this, and I never want to be like that. I don't want to say a person of color can't do this, can't do that, because that's also literally just racism and people on the left.
And that's the funny part. It's like you're basically telling people that are not white, that are brown, black, whatever other race, that they are inferior to white people. That is what you're basically saying, because you're saying white people have all these advantages, and you're basing it on hundreds of years ago when slavery was legal. That is no longer the case. You literally have 2 or 3 gentlemen that's on that panel that make well over $300K. And one of the guys made over $1 million. And he's not white. One of the guys he makes about less than 9 million, and he's Muslim. The other guy's black or Hispanic, and he made about less than 5 million. So that right there tells you what you're saying is bullshit. You are just angry because you don't get your ass up and work hard. You want to blame society. You want to be so liberal. You want to blame everything else. And you think you're doing the black community a favor by saying that white people are basically born this way. What you're basically trying to say without saying is that white people will forever have an advantage over any other race, especially black. And you try to side with black people by saying that. But what you're saying is, we're dumb. We're not better than you, no matter what we try to do. There's no way to overcome. We should just live in a bubble and just give up. That's basically what you're implying. And I call BS. People like him, you can't surround yourself with guys with that kind of mentality. Stay away. I'm going to post a question in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure all notifications are on. I'm Terrence Manning. This is my show, My Thoughts Uncut. See you guys next time. Peace.